Hello, I'm Gary Scarano. I'm here today with Dr. Surajit Khanna and Donna Ivery. Dr. Khanna is an advocate for child safety. He mainly concentrates on underserved communities in New York area. He travels and speaks, promotes awareness on child safety. He speaks and he champions for several nonprofit organizations, including but not limited to voiceofthekids.org, which is located in Rockland County in New York. He has been continuously speaking. He's been on the radio, quoted in a newspaper, and has spoken to over 300 people in a local school. Miss Donna Ivery is an applied behavior analyst who works with children and consults family and their children. And we're here today to talk to her. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. It was great speaking to you and get introduced to Donna. I'm really privileged that you chose to come and talk to us regarding your idea about child safety, because that's one of the major issues today. And would like to know exactly how your profession as an applied behavior, it analyzes how it does, how it can affect or impact a child. So, something you can share based on your experience?
Well, Dr. Khanna, I would like to just let you know and concentrate pretty much on the families and children with special needs during this coronavirus pandemic. And I guess the main part is that a lot of people may not be aware that this pandemic and lockdown has had a major impact and put a lot of pressure on the families with children and of children who have special needs, not only on the mothers and the fathers, extended family members, but also the siblings of those children. And for families with disabled children, the lockdown has been quite difficult. And according to some of my clients, this pandemic is creating situations that are nearly unbearable. I guess the thing is that the lockdown is creating even more intense experience in the area of post-traumatic stress disorders. Prior to the pandemic, it is well documented that parents with children who have special needs exhibit post-traumatic stress disorder similar to individuals who come home from the war and fighting in combat. And yet these parents have a lot of hardships. They're required to look after these children, monitor their behaviors, get them to school, in addition to their other children if they have additional children in the home, and take care of their work and their household requirements. So now with this pandemic, it's creating not only more hardship, but it's also creating a mental health crisis.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you did hit the right, nerve here. That is the, the crisis the kids are going through with their brain. Imagine, that, this whole thing continues, more than we can anticipate, then how these kids will be affected. This is like today I was, reading the news in CNN. It says that they're expecting, another, or they already have it. They have the another strain of virus, which is airborne.
Yes.
So, that means we have to wear masks outside. Well, it is very easy for the adults to follow the rules and regulations, very easy for adults to do a lot of things. But it's very difficult for children, for, putting them into this type of restrictions. So what kind of advices would you give to the family, especially, the parents, because now most of the time the children are spending with their parents, means how would they, it's been more than 3 months now.
Yes.
Okay, lockdown has, is more than 3 months.
Yes.
So how do you think they should deal with this type of situation with the kids?
Well, a lot of the school districts are offering telehealth services, and unfortunately, the telehealth services are starting to just pick up. In the beginning of the pandemic, we were quite uncertain how to handle all of the requests, and losing the ability to actually go into the home or a center or a school setting to provide services. So unfortunately, and it's well documented, in addition to other things that are well documented, the National Institutes of Health, psychologists and psychiatrists and educators realize that every single day that a student doesn't have their services in place, they are slipping further and they're going into regression. And they're losing ground. And so now the parents have an option more and more recently to participate in telehealth. Now it's getting acclimated to telehealth. Some families have a disadvantage. Perhaps they don't have computers at home or tablets or internet access. And so financially they can't afford it. And so those children, unfortunately, are slipping even further away because they cannot even participate in the telehealth services or the online educational programs.
Wow, interesting. But what is your opinion about how the state or city is assisting this type of families, those who can't afford telehealth services?
Well, they're looking into reopening the schools shortly, maybe on a blended learning schedule. For example, maybe the children will go, I think New York City said today that they're going to try to have children go 3 days a week to school shortly, and the other portion might be online. So that will be another option. Some social services are offering telehealth check-ins, for example. Check in with the families to see how everything is doing. Applied behavior analysts and other psychologists are also able to offer telehealth services to the parents, just to give them a wellness check to see how the families are doing. Some parents, as I mentioned earlier, do have post-traumatic stress disorder, and the siblings as well. So we provide, at least the psychologists will provide, parent training. I know in applied behavior analysis, we provide parent training to teach parents how to manage inappropriate behaviors that could arise as a result of, for example, a child who has is nonverbal. They can't express, so they express their feelings, they become frustrated, and sometimes they act out physically. So, we work with the parents to try to help them help their children.
So what can you offer, you personally, because there are many, I'm sure there are many centers out there, but they are all overwhelmed. Okay, I'm sure. And so what do you think you can add value so that the kids can, or the families can take advantage of your expertise?
One of the things that I have often thought of, but from time to time it has been frowned upon, but I really believe that parents should participate and at least become a certified technician in behavior analysis. Why? Applied behavior analysis is considered the gold standard when it comes to changing behavior, and not only changing behavior, but helping a person develop a new skill or a new behavior that will be life-changing, and it stays intact if it's done correctly with the right reinforcements and schedules of reinforcement. These behaviors can become lifelong, I would call them gifts in a way. Once a person learns it, they'll be able to manage for the duration, and they'll be able to generalize some of those behaviors into their environment. So if parents could learn basic applied behavior analysis and become certified, And then when we go into the homes or when we meet with them on telehealth, for example, they know what we're talking about, you know, and it'll help them in the long run because they're with a child for more hours of a day than we are. We're usually in the home maybe 1 to 3 hours a day, and that was before the pandemic. And now we're not in the homes at all. And parents are at a loss. They don't have the skills. So if I could change one thing or could request one thing, I think we need to give the parents an empowerment and give them the skills
Excellent.
that they need.
Excellent idea. Excellent idea. I mean, I like it. I like it because this is the way you can educate the parents and because they are the first-hand therapist for
Yes.
the kids, you know, and how much can you, or even if you clone yourself, you know, how many homes can you go at one given time? You know, so the parents have to have some type of education, you know, and they can be incentivized. You know, I think I like your idea about certifying them.
Yes.
And I think certification should be confined to that family, you know, and, you know, there could be a certified, therapist for that family. You know, they don't have to go out and do certification or do their counseling to somebody else because, you know, and plus they will be the best one because they have been dealing with the child from the birth.
Yes.
Okay. They will be the best candidate to become this. And they should be, you know,
Absolutely.
because professionals like you, means your expertise can be utilized through training, not through actual practicing, because how many families can you practice at a time? You know, you have, you know, this is an excellent idea, Donna. I like it. I think this training and counseling is needed, you know, and I think we should, you know, maybe Gary and, you know, Claim, both of them can take to the nonprofit Voice of the Kids, and they can see that whether, you know, they can provide, you know, that kind of services. Because
Yes, sir.
one of the things which I do, which is I like to connect people, you know, because I believe in providing solution.
Yes.
You know, talk becomes too cheap. If we just talk in the air, it is not helping any families or it is not helping the children. So we need to provide solution. And I think I was fortunate enough to be introduced to you, and definitely we should work as a team and try to provide solution where, you know, the children can be benefited and safe. Because I personally don't know how long this pandemic is going to go, you know, and we just passed 3 months, and now the summer came, which is two months summer, so 5 months, 6 months almost gone. Okay, by the end of the summer, 6 months is gone, so we are in lockdown. Okay, could you imagine what these kids are going through in their brain?
Where we're at is providing a solution. And I think Donna suggested a solution that we could work on, that we certify families before they get the counseling. We're kind of coming up to the end of our talk here. Do you want to just close us out quick with Donna, last comment?
Well, I'm just thinking that we need to empower the parents. Who knew the pandemic was coming? However, if the parents had just the bare minimum, when we go into the home to help, at least we can come in as experts or more advanced in our training than they are, and give them more tools that they can use when we're not there, and that will empower them. And then when we do the telehealth, they know what we're talking about. If we say, you know, do X, Y, or Z and give this reinforcement, that parent understands what the reinforcement is and why. And then they're able to take documentation themselves and see the real change in their children. And I think overall, it makes life better for everyone in the household.
Thank you. Any parting words, Dr. Khanna?
Yeah, Miss, I like this word. I would like to end our discussion by taking a valuable word that is empowering the parents. You know, this is a very, very important word. And we need to take that empowering, because once you introduce this empowering thing and this pandemic, a lot of people are taking pandemic in a negative way. Let's twist it around and make it positive, that because of the pandemic, the parents really understood the kids more, and they had a interaction between the children and the parents. So now, Donna, you coming in and giving them the training that really empowers them. Okay, so I love to take and give the audience that our job right now is to empower the parents so that they can make the children safe and give better solution for this pandemic.
Thank you, Doctor. And thank you, Donna. And we're going to be talking more to you, Donna. I think we just scratched the surface today. To find Dr. Khanna, just please go to Khanna, Khanna, for kids, forkids.com. You can see all his blogs and videos there. He is the champion for voiceofthekids.org. And we look forward to more of these videos. Thank you very much.